Hello and welcome back to the Elite Tournament. I'm Hans Buttface. Today we kick off Season 7 with this special pre-game show that will reintroduce you to the tournament rules, catch you up on any changes that were made in the off-season, and help you better understand the game that our participants will be competing in. First, let's review the format for the tournament. This season, we will have 24 players who will be racing. They will be divided into 8 people per league, which means we will have 3 leagues for the first time in Elite history. The Cesspool, the Upper Deck, and now a league that will sit between them that we'll call the Bowl. Each league will be divided into 2 groups with 4 players in each group. It is a round-robin tournament, so each player will race against everyone in their group one time, for a total of 3 races in the group stage. The best 2 records in each group move on to their league's championship bracket, which will be contested under a single elimination rules. Both participants that make up the finals in the Bowl and the Cesspool leagues will get promoted to the Upper Deck and the Bowl respectively for the following season. The bottom 2 participants in the Upper Deck and the Bowl leagues will have to participate in a 4-way relegation race where you have to finish in the top 2 to survive, and then the bottom 2 people will get relegated to the lower league for the following season. Of the participants who get relegated, there's also a blind humiliation race that they will have to compete in, where they race a game that is unknown to them until just before the race starts. This traditionally serves as the lead-in for the announcement of our next Elite season. The winners of each league will be eligible to nominate a potential game for the next season, with the Upper Deck champion also earning the right to choose the game that is run for the blind humiliation stream. And speaking of games, if you missed the Season 7 selection show, you're probably wondering what we're playing this time around. And that game is SPLATTERHOUSE WANPAKU GRAFFITI. It was a 1989 game for the FAMICOM system. WANPAKU actually means jungle power in Japanese. But let's find out exactly how to play this game. We're going to have a special tutorial coming up. Alright, helping us out for this playthrough is Zyrak from the Cesspool's Killer Tomatoes group. As you can see on the right hand side of the screen, you play as a resurrected Charlie Brown, who comes back to life when a lightning bolt strikes his grave. He sees the little red-headed girl that he has a crush on, and just as they're about to get together, his hero, the Great Pumpkin, comes and steals the red-headed girl from him. So armed only with a cleaver or an axe, he has to set out to find the little red-headed girl and save the day. First screen's pretty straightforward. We're going to kill all the zombies on the way to this sub-boss here, this Michael Jackson Thriller ripoff. This is the graveyard stage, stage 1 of 6. So you control Charlie Brown here with the D-pad, left and right, moves him left and right. B swings the sword or the knife. A will jump. You can press up to go into doors, start pauses, and select will accidentally make you load a save state, and then you'll have to forfeit your race. Later on in the game, you can get a shotgun, but for right now, you just have the cleaver. You gotta mow down these zombies while avoiding the shots from Michael Jackson up on top. You can see you have an XP meter. Every time you kill an enemy, you gain 1 XP. Bosses, you'll gain multiple XP. Every time you fill the meter, you get 1 additional life bar. For the most part, everything you kill is a 1-hit KO. You'll see some enemies where they'll turn into a second form and you have to kill them again. Bosses are mostly not 1-hit KO. At least one of them is. Every 6 enemies, or 6 eligible enemies you kill, you grab a candy, like Zyrak just did there. That will refill 1 bar of health. The hamburger on the other side of the screen will refill 4 bars of health. Making our way here to the book stage. This would be another sub-boss, I guess you'll call it. About 20 books you have to kill, and then you're able to move on. And this is the real boss of stage 1 here. Reagan, the Exorcist. It's a doll, the head spins, it comes off, and what you have to do is you have to hit it 10 times. You'll see players in the tournament get a quick kill, and Zyrak's getting a quicker kill here. He missed the head on the when it first detaches from the body, but he was able to pin it in the corner and just whack away. And that's it for stage 1. We're moving to stage 2, which is the Cesspool of the Elite. Hopefully Zyrak is not going to be the Cesspool of the Elite. Only just takes a couple of hits of damage there. Maybe he is. Gets through some wall masters. Spider stage. And then we're on to the chicken and knife fight. I'm pretty sure you're going to hear a couple people talk about how they used to think the chickens were the boss in this area, when it's actually the knives you have to kill. About 10 knives, and you can move on. So once you're done killing the knives, you're going to transition through the floor. But if you just stand still, it will make you jump high when the floor breaks away. But if you can jump, like Zyrak just did right there, as the floor is breaking, then you don't get that extra animation into the air. And we're moving on into the sewers here. We got some mice, some boar worms, these things are called. And coming up right now is everyone's favorite enemy. Right there, the pricks. So we have a little divergence here. It's one of the alternate things you can do. You can see people doing one or the other. The final boss in this stage is the Kaiser Mouse. And you can fight it up top, like it was intended to be fought. Or, on the right side of the screen, you can see you can take a bottom route through the water. You can see the differences in the two routes in a second. If you're on the top route, you have to hit about 7 or 8 rats on the way to the main rat. On the bottom route, you just got to get there, wading through the water. Being careful to jump and swing at the right time. Every time you get hit, there's a wind element here. You can see it. Every time you get hit or let go of the D-pad, you'll be pushed to the left. So you have to be very careful on either route to make sure that you're absolutely doing what you need to do. And then we go up, and we make it to stage 3, Devil Town. First area has some pumpkin zealots and cockroaches. Nothing too fancy. Should say that this game does have an alternate ending, a good ending, which we will not be running in this tournament. People can run it. We're going to be running the any percent category, not any percent best ending. Once we get past that spider screen, we have a chainsaw screen here. You got to kill 8 chainsaws before you're able to go through the door. I think he has 1 more left. And there it is. And who's on the other side of the door? Well, you have to... How did Charlie Brown die? Well, the lore of this game is that he went to kick a football, missed the football, landed on his head and broke his neck, and that's how he died. This stage right here is revenge on the person who's holding the football. This is Lucy Van Pelt. You can see the homage to Lucy laying down on top of the doghouse. Or just mockery, just mocking Charlie Brown. Because I believe Snoopy's dead in this timeline as well. It's really pretty dark for a Nintendo game altogether. But the right side of the screen, you can just doing YOLO strats, just jumping over the spiders. Just like the zombie boss in the Michael Jackson parody in the first stage, this is basically on a timer. It's your, as people will call it, the auto-scroller of the game. Right side didn't kill any spiders. Zyrax went ham. And you can see they were done right around the same time. We're back to some more pumpkins here. When you land on the trash can, if you hold down, you'll get a candy, like you see Zyrak did right there. But if you hold up, you will make a shotgun appear, and that's the other weapon in the game. You'll have 10 shots. It has some recoil, so you have to be careful where you use it. He's going to pick one up right there. You don't see where the bullets go, but it has a decent range, and it hits multiple enemies at a time. You see Zyrak waits until multiple enemies on the screen and gets 2 or 3 kills at a time. He's going to use it for this segment here. This is Kulain. It's going to do it for crowd control. Get a couple of these demon bats to spawn at one time, and then take a shot. You got 3 of them there. Still getting hit. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can use the shotgun and clear multiple at a time. You can get them when they'll hang low and then go dip down lower. You can hit them there. Or you can hit them as they first spawn if your timing's right. And then Kulain's true form shows up. The goat. The goat of the Zelda 2 Randomizer 0cc Boot Camp. Hit him 16 times and he will go away. You get 4 continues along with your original play, so you have 5 attempts to beat this game. Zyrak is going to be nice here and take a game over, so we can see exactly. Just mash, start, continue again, and you start over. Full health. Full health and no XP, but you retain all the power-ups you got, all the health increases you got. If you use all 4 game overs, then you're able to enter the password for this stage. It's 3739. But you restart with the default health. So you don't want to do that later on. It's going to be kind of tough. See, Zyrak has the gun, but he's going to show us how to fight this boss legit. On the right side, I'm going to use the gun to perfection. Just jump 4 shots and kill it. Zyrak is going to go about 10% on his accuracy here. It's like my Call of Duty lifetime kill to death ratio. I think I'm 0.1. Gotta wait for the bee to get down low and then kill it. And moving on to stage 4, Diamond Lake. Got some more zombies here, more pricks. And the debut of the bat enemy. Players will not want to get the shotgun. I'm not too sure if Zyrak wanted to get it there. Or he got knocked back into it, but he's going to waste a couple shots. Lands on a prick. So you got that little knockback. And right there, in the background, a little homage for Namcot's other game at this time period. It was the Seoul 1988 Extreme Synchronized Swimming video game. Of course, we know in 1988, the Olympics were in Seoul, Korea. The bronze medal for synchronized swimming in both dual and solo were won by the Japanese. Mikaka Kotani and Miyako Tanaka won the duet event. Kotani also won the gold in the solo event. Silver medals were given to the United States in both events, and the gold medal was given to Canada in both events. And just like Zarnax 42, Carolyn Waldo from Canada was a double gold medalist. This stage, we got a couple new enemies. We got the Skeleton Husbando and these chomps here. And we're going to make our way to the boss of stage 4, the Fork Ninja. 2 forms that alternate. One throws the shot at you, like that, and then the other one, he randomly appears somewhere on the screen. You just got to slash him 6 times, and he's done. And there you go, 6 hits, and we're through to stage 5. Probably one of the hardest ones in the game. You can take hits here, and there's limited iframes, but there are some places where you can take an intentional hit and save a little time. We'll see it here coming up. Get a little damage boost at the same time. Some other places where you can take a damage and then just kind of fall into spikes and not take damage. If you get hit by enemies, there's limited iframes to where you can get hit over and over and over again if you're stuck in their hurt box. And you can get bodied, as the kids say. Gotta make our way here through the pricks and get to the second part of this stage. These are the screamers. Screamers are terrible. There's no other way to describe them. And we're back outside. See, you just got hit a couple times there. Took a damage boost. The damage can really stack up here depending on where you jump and if you do or do not kill the enemy that you intended to kill. More so than any other stage, I believe, in my limited experience watching the game. I've not played this game. I'm a studio host. I don't need to play video games. All right, we're going to show the bucket here. Both players get the bucket. Zyrak is going to fight the boss, the werewolf from Final Fantasy V and VI, legit. But the dude on the right, he's going to take some damage here. You can see the first hit, he took some damage. Second hit, no damage. Third hit, he took damage. It's roughly 50% defense when you get the bucket. Every other shot will harm you, and every other shot won't. So, good strategy. Bucket may have saved Zyrak there. He gets out of this stage with 2 health. And we move on to Stage 6. Stage 6 has no bosses, and it has a couple places where you can get health up. So he's in no trouble there. Don't want the shotguns on this stage. You want to just make sure you time all your jumps right, so you're constantly moving right. If you fall, you do go back to the start of the stage, so you don't want to do that anywhere. There's a second of 3 hamburgers right there. And the floor does give way. The bridge does give way in sections. By the way, the wolf fight, 8 hits on the wolf, and the wolf dies. And it has a shield once you hit it, so he's invulnerable for a little period of time, but as soon as that goes away, you can hit him again. And that's Stage 6 right there. I said earlier there were 6 stages. There are 7 stages. 6 doesn't really count. This is the real Stage 6, but it's Stage 7. It's the haunted mansion here. The Hell House. Right there, that door, if you go in that door, you can go to Egypt. Egypt is the second stage of the bonus areas for the good ending. The first stage is in the fly boss level. If you go into the first fly unit, then you can travel to Japan. Zyrak held right there and saved like 3 frames. It's beautiful. Charlie Brown shifts over in the coffin about 3 frames. Second instance here of the Chainsaw Charlies. 8 hits and they're done. Just like the first area. Zyrak takes 1 hit in the fly level, which is pretty good. May not have done it the fastest, but you got through with limited damage. Right here, if you fall, you start again on the beginning of the clock level. There are also pitfalls in other portions of this level where you'll fall and then again have to start right there. Left door is a bathroom. You fight the scrubbing bubbles. I don't know exactly what it's for, but I've seen it done. Hitting candy in the deer statue, the good steer. You got to make sure not to fall here. These bats will pick you up. I believe people refer to them as Garfield bats. They'll pick you up and try to throw you in the hole. And here's the Screamer room. It's the worst room in the game. And we're making our way to the final boss. This is a Pepsi machine. You can grab yourself a soda, refill some health. It doesn't refill you to max, so if you're really low, you can get a second one, but you got to scroll the screen all the way left, so it's off this screen, and then come back and you can get it. And here we are, on to the Great Pumpkin. So 2 forms of the Great Pumpkin. First he appears. You have to slash him, and then he... Trust me when I say this, there you can see it now. He roams around the room. You just got to avoid damage. That was not avoiding damage. So slash him, wait him out, slash him, wait him out, and you have to do this 16 times. So this is a good... I don't know. Math is failing me right now. This is a good 10% of the game? Maybe? It's like 2 minutes total. Maybe more. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You just keep going at it. Slash wait, slash wait, slash wait. Got a little over halfway there, I think. I was not counting. I was eating a cookie. Let's start this Elite Season 7 off right. Chat, what is your favorite cookie? We've done this before, but there might be new faces out there. Opinions may change. New cookie or snack food you don't often have because you rarely buy it or rarely can find it. I'll take either or. We'll discuss that while we wait for the Great Pumpkin to be killed. If you're not seeing the Great Pumpkin float around like you do now, it is because it's being captured with low frames. There we go. There's the death right there. Time stops. Race ends at loss of control on Charlie Brown. So you got to kind of move around and wait for the loss of control. Depending on capture settings, you may or may not see the pumpkins float around during the season. And there you go. So Zyrax's time is 19:06. We definitely thank him for helping us out. That is Splatterhouse WANPAKU Graffiti. And we'll be seeing plenty of that in Elite Season 7. And for helping us out, we're going to go ahead and give Zyrax an automatic win in his race. Just for helping out and contributing to the pre-show here. And we're going to remind everybody, stay tuned. The official Episode 1 of Elite Season 7 is coming up soon. All right, welcome once again to Season 7 of the Elite Tournament. I am Hans Buttface, and I will be serving as host once again for this highly competitive, prestigious speedrunning tournament. We have 5 additional races to bring you tonight in week number 1. Without further ado, let's cut to the quad box with the race from the group Leprechaun. And remind you that 2 hours of limited commercial elite action starts now.
All right, welcome to the Leprechaun division. I am Coach Crab 127.
I am Dark Magician.
All right, so what do you see that's unique about this group, Dark Magician?
Well, it should be a good race. We got Dion Heffley. He's always good for a good elite race. You never know what he's going to pull out of the bag. We got Zeb. He's always entertaining, especially when he's on the phone with his mom. We got Third Wolf. He's pretty good at most games. And of course, we got Justin Man, who's he's okay. I mean, he's definitely got room to improve in a lot of games he plays, especially that Zelda game that he plays. I don't remember which one it is, though.
Yeah, one of those Zelda games, whatever one it may be. But
Yeah.
Looks like we're underway now, and as far as these streamers go, the Alan Heffley has been with us in the Elite since Season 3, I believe. But I believe we have 2 rookies here, Thurwolf and Zeb Gedney. I believe it's their first season, and Justin Man, if I'm not mistaken, this is his 2nd season with the Elite.
Yeah, you're right. This is the second time Justin's done something. He did some stuff in the Olympics, but yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was with us during the Olympics as well. Well, we come to our first mini boss, I guess you could call him. The Dancing Michael Jackson with Dancing Michael Jackson Dracula, I guess you could call him. With the Bucktooth Thumb.
Yeah, this is my favorite song by Michael Jackson, Alien Ant Farm. It's a great song. Remember when it came out in the 90s and it was very popular in high school.
Did it come out in the 90s? I thought it came out in like 2001 or something like that.
I don't know. I'm too old now.
Well, this is first mini boss right here. I like to call them Space Mountain 2.0 because it's pretty much exactly what it is compared to our last season with the last game we played.
Yeah, with all the flashing lights, definitely. That's all I see.
Yeah, the flashing lights and just the quote-unquote auto-scrolling boss type of area. I mean, that's really like what I call the auto-scrolling area in this game is that part, and another part that will come up on later is basically it's just the boss is on a timer, and you just play until the timer.
So, I'm sure the viewers have gotten a gist that a lot of this is just going to be spoofs or whatnot of other horror movies, and I said horror.
Yes, make
what's
sure
your
you emphasize that horror.
What's your personal favorite for a horror movie?
My personal favorite horror movie? Well, that's a really great question. I think I'd have to go with Psycho.
That's pretty good, yeah. Yeah, horror movie is a completely different category.
Yes,
No,
yeah, we don't want to talk about those.
Yeah.
So here's our first horror movie spook. We've got Reagan from The Exorcist with the spinning head that actually comes off. That actually doesn't happen in the movie, I don't think. Sorry, spoilers, but if you've never seen it. But this is a pretty difficult boss.
Oh, I thought this was like a spin-off of Chucky because of the doll and whatnot.
Ah, I didn't take that angle. That's interesting. But the way the head spins around and the way it looks like a girl to me, I just always figured it was Reagan from The Exorcist. But it looks like all of our players are through the first boss now. It looks like Thurwolf has a slight lead, as does Justin.
Yeah, and it should be noted that these guys are racing, as you can see on layout, the tops versus the tops, bottom versus bottoms.
I guess it's very important to point that out. We probably should have done that. Looking at the mini boss that Thurwolf is on right now, when I first fought this boss, I only went for the chickens. I did not realize that you have to go for the knives. And I killed like 15 chickens before I realized that that's not what I was supposed to.
Yeah, Thurwolf has a very weird color palette. I assume he's on emulator and everybody else is on a capture card, but man, his colors are very vivid compared to anybody else. This room's like a dark brown. And
It looks like
a light one.
it looks like RGB to me. That might be what it is.
Ooh, la-di-da. We got another fancy boy with the RGB capture.
Yeah, a couple of we have a couple of those with speaking of RGB, it looks like Thurwolf is at BGT's favorite level. We know that BGT loves these sewer levels in all the games.
Yeah, I was going to mention BGT. BGT, first time he submitted a run for Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, he got rejected because they said it was an emulator.
Yeah, his stream just looked way too good, I guess.
And we see Alan deciding to fight the chicken boss again. I guess he was kind of hungry.
Did Alan die? I missed that.
Either he died or he wanted to play again. I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure if you reset, you can start the boss over. So why not?
Well, it looks like
Hawk.
Okay, you see Thurwolf and Justin Man electing to fight the boss on top, as they did, and we've got Zeb Gedney electing to stay in the sewer to fight this boss. So there are two different ways you can do that. As you can see, Zeb Gedney going for the safer strategy, but it is a little bit.
Yeah, the best one is when you finally get this boss killed, and then you die to that little rat there at the very end.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
It's pretty great.
And then you'd have to start all the way back at the beginning of the sewer, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, that's the best step.
Yep, I'm sure that's caused many controllers to break before. And now, Thurwolf is going to the next auto-scrolling boss, or mini-boss, I guess you could say. And this poor woman on her deathbed, I guess you could call it. It looks like she just has a bit of a stomach bug.
Yeah, this reminds me of that movie with the aliens, where the aliens were like a parasite, so they're fighting them, and they climb inside the people's bodies, and so they're fighting off the aliens, and the alien eventually busts out the chest, and I don't remember what the movie was called though. Do you know?
The Aliens movie called Alien?
No, it wasn't Alien. No. So there was lots of aliens in the movie, but it wasn't like the focus of the movie. The focus of the movie was about like a parasite, and these people were fighting it. It was Spaceballs. That's what it was.
Right. I really don't remember that part of Spaceballs.
Yeah, there's a part in Spaceballs where they have the chest burster and he comes out and he does a little tap dance routine.
Oh, at the very end. Yes, I do remember that. Sorry, it's been a while since I've seen that movie all the way through.
You gotta watch it at least once a year. It's one of those. It's like Star Wars.
Yeah, maybe I should. I should watch it again sometime.
I mean, it has a lot of things in common with Star Wars, I guess people would say.
Well, the Alan Heffley is still trying to defeat the first mouse boss. He's going for the strat up high, like we talked about earlier. Let's see if he's able to do it this.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we got Thurwolf fighting the Jewish, Catholic, pagan goat boy.
Is it a goat or a ram?
We'll let the audience decide.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out soon.
Apparently, we're in season 7. I just noticed that.
Yep.
Do you want to recap some of the games that we've seen on the Elite Tournament?
Well, the season 1 was Roller Games, which was one of the best games in my opinion. Season 2, we had Wacky Races. Wacky Races, spin-off of the cartoon with Muttley back in the 60s and 70s. We've had Panic Restaurant. We've had Yume Penguin Monogatari. We've had Tiny Toons Adventures and Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. And now we have Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti.
And you've been around for quite a while. Were you around in season 1 as well?
I've been around since season 1, yep.
I thought, yeah. Veteran.
A pretty good boss fight there by Thurwolf, defeating the goat ram, whatever you want to call it, and Looks like Justin Mann is finishing up on him as well. And Zeb Gedney and Justin Mann have a pretty good race going on right here. They're pretty close. But Alan Heffley's a little bit behind.
Yeah, we'll see who chokes in that race, because, you know, they might just choke on the clocks.
Yeah, those clocks can be pretty intimidating towards the end. We'll have to see. But the nice thing, well, you'll see towards the end there that the clocks are actually pretty forgiving.
Yeah, so Alan decided to give a couple of hugs to these face huggers, and I guess he's using emulator save states, and they sped it up for him. So yeah, we're on our last continue with him. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, a little bit of a handicap, I guess. We might have to have a use of a password. We'll see what happens.
Nothing's done until it's done, though. And wow, look at that purple water.
It's beautiful. So level 4 prevents a couple of challenges. In the one of the part that Thurwolf is on right here. This is one of the most difficult parts in the game, in my opinion. Trying to kill these skeletons, but also keep your momentum going at the same time, and avoiding the drifting spiky things on the bottom. It can be a pretty difficult spot right there.
Yeah, the muse. See, I don't understand these sharks. Is this supposed to be like Jaws or like Lake Placid?
I think it's supposed to be Sharktopus.
Sharktopus. Is this a sci-fi movie that I missed, like Sharknado?
Sharknado, Sharktopus, yeah, one of those things. You know, there's like 50 shark movies that have appeared in the last 5 years or so.
With all of them have Ian Ziering in them?
Yeah, every single one.
Oh, okay. I guess that's what he did after Beverly Hills 90210.
Okay, Fork Boss. So Thurwolf on the Fork Boss right now. This is one of the most RNG heavy parts of the game. Trying to hit this boss in getting him in a 6 cycle can be extremely challenging. I find it. This is one of the parts where I struggle the most and where I lose the most time.
Yeah, he always ends up going to the left side to shoot and then ends up on the right side, but he did the opposite to him and he missed the cycle anyways.
Yeah, it looks like Thurwolf did a pretty good job right there. Justin Mann now on the same thing. Zeb Gedney choosing to go with the shotgun in level 4. That's an interesting choice right there. And the Alan Heffley trying to defeat the hooded ram goat.
So I don't understand, why is there a Star David on the floor?
I don't really question things at this point. I just go with the flow, I guess.
And there's this is his last continue. Let's hope he has those passwords written down.
Yeah, last continue for Alan Heffley. Knowing him, he probably has a sticky note on his TV with those passwords there. So.
Hey, that's what I did for Space Mountain.
Yeah, I saw a couple people did that for Space Mountain. I was the one of those who was not smart and tried to memorize it and didn't exactly do very well on my first.
Justin breaking that crate for some extra health.
Yeah, there's a couple areas where you can do that. We haven't really talked about the leveling up system, and this is, if you see the numbers in the top left-hand corner, how that's how many bosses you have, not bosses, but enemies you have defeated, and the goal to get to every single time you reach that goal, you gain another piece of health. So, and also if Alan Heffley has to use a continue, or not use a continue, use a password here, you start out with only 8 pieces of health, so that's going to be a real challenge if that happens for him.
So I was watching a lot of people play this game for a while, and that noise in the forest, I never realized it was a game.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about, right.
And then I couldn't figure out what it was. I think it's supposed to be crickets.
Yeah, it could be. I just assumed it was just part of the music, but it could be some crickets or maybe the bugs or something that you have to fight.
Yeah, it's just the high-pitched frequency, and there goes the game over for Alan. And he accidentally pressed start.
And it looks like he's starting at level 3 is where he'll have to start because he didn't fully complete level 3, so he'll have to start over at the beginning of that level. Level 3 is one of the longest levels in this game.
I'm really enjoying these warp strats that I see Thurwolf implementing.
Yeah, I mean, 1 second he's to the left, and another second he's all the way to the right. It's very impressive.
I think he's using the Vegas cheat.
He just might be.
Yeah, Vegas
now he's
Studio,
in
I think, is the code.
And once again, we have our hooded figure pushing Thurwolf into the pumpkin's mouth.
Oh, is that what that is? I thought it was the sandworm from Beetlejuice.
Oh, or it could be from Tremors.
There we go. It does have the jack-o'-lantern eyes, though. So
yeah, it's got those classic jack-o'-lantern eyes. So I don't know. I always thought it was a pumpkin myself, but I can see it as one of those tremors or whatever those things are called. They're not called tremors. What are they?
I'll be honest. I've seen very few scary movies because I actually get scared.
Well,
like I've seen the Scream series, but that's about as much as I've seen. I saw a movie called Darkness Falls, which is about the Tooth Fairy coming steal teeth, and like I legit had nightmares, and I was like 18.
What about Evil Dead?
No, I haven't seen those, but I know they're more cheesy, so it's not so realistic. But
yeah, that would probably be a good one if you don't really like scary movies. Probably be a good one for you to watch. It's pretty entertaining. All of them. There's 3 of them: Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. All of them are pretty entertaining, and they get cheesier and cheesier as they go. Oh, and Thurwolf takes a death right as he was close to the last boss, and he has to start. Actually, he gets to start in the same room, so that's not a big deal. I was thinking for a minute that he had to start at the beginning.
Yeah, no, that's probably one of the better deaths, because you get to refill right before the boss without having to drink the sodas.
Yeah, he elects to not drink the soda. I guess he doesn't really need to, but we are now at the final boss. We have our first competitor at the final boss. We'll see how the pumpkin screensaver goes.
This final boss is so long, I don't put it out of the realm possibility of Alan getting to the final boss before this fight is over.
Yeah, that's a possibility. We'll have to keep track of how many hits Thurwolf takes, or how many hits he has done so far. How many hits is it on the final boss? 16?
16, yeah. And you have to pay attention to the final boss to see if he ever lands perfectly in the corner. It's like when you're watching the DVD logo bounce around on the screen. Oh wow, that one looked pretty close.
And now Justin Mann reaches the final boss as well. Zebgeni, though, is on his tail, not too far behind. Anything could...
Yeah, if Justin takes a death, that race is still open.
The Alan Heffley trying real hard at that Ram boss. Let's hope he can get by here. See what happens. Oh, and he takes another death. How unfortunate. But that was his first continue. Hopefully he'll be able to get by this time. We'll see.
Yeah, he's not too far behind. I think he's 3 worlds, as well as another boss. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's looking pretty rough, though.
We got Zeb playing with the clocks. This room always makes me think of, like, The Exorcist, but I think it's just because the eyeballs that are on the pendulums.
I always thought of the, what is that, Edgar Allan Poe short... What is that Edgar Allan Poe story called? Where he buries the body under the floorboard?
Oh, The Telltale Heart.
The Telltale Heart, yes. That's, I don't know, just the ticking, you know, is what makes me think of the,
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of The Exorcist. I was thinking of the other one, Poltergeist.
Yeah, I've never seen Poltergeist. That's one that I need to see.
I know. See, this is one of those movies that probably turned me off of horror. When I was 7 or 8, it came on TV, and the only scene I saw was the one where the chick has like eyeballs in her hands, and she takes a piece of glass and stabs her hands. And I mean, I'm 7, so
Yeah, that must have been pretty shocking. But it looks like we have our first winner of the Leprechaun bracket, Thurwolf, with a time of 18:48.
yeah, and Justin's right behind him as soon as this 25-second animation stops. So we'll say his is 1930.
It's going to be right around there. Let's see, 1934 for Justin Mann. So we have our first winners here. Thurwolf taking care of the Alan Heffley. The first winners in this bracket, that is. Justin Mann taking care of Zeb Gedney. So let's see how these guys end up. Zeb Gedney on the final boss now. And looks like Alan Heffley forgot to pick up the shotgun.
Yep, he's got to fight Jeff Goldblum without it.
Yeah, this part, you really need the... You know, it's interesting, in the movie, The Fly, Jeff Goldblum gets... that's how he actually gets killed, isn't it? By a shotgun at the end. Is that one that you're not familiar with?
Yeah, it's not one I'm familiar with either. I know it, like I've seen scenes from it, but I've never actually seen that whole movie. Most of my horror movie knowledge comes from watching Simpsons Halloween specials.
Oh yes, the Treehouse of Horrors.
Correct.
Horrors is what I said.
Although they haven't really churned out anything good in quite a while. I think their last good Treehouse of Horror was the one with the 3D world.
I stopped watching them when it was around like number 15 or something like that.
The one where Homer goes into the mystery wall, and he goes from 2D to 3D. That's about the last one I've seen.
Oh yeah, and then he goes into an erotic cake bakery or something like that. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different episode.
No, that's the one.
That is the one. Okay.
Yeah.
The one that was my favorite was the one where he sells his soul for and Flanders is the devil that comes and gives him a donut for his soul.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the first ones I ever saw. And we've got Zeb Gedney finishing up. He's going to finish with a time of 21 minutes and 35 seconds, so good for him. The Alan Heffley does finish level 3, so let's see how much longer it's going to take him to finish.
Yeah, he gets the shotgun, and he's going to show Swamp Thing a thing or two.
And I always liked the legs in the background. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, these Mews right here, they're annoying. I refer to them by the Zelda 2 name.
The Mews.
Yeah, they're called Mews in Zelda 2. They're little spiky things on the ground. They're super annoying.
Yes. Yes, they can only kill with downstab.
Yes.
In Zelda, you can't do downstab in this game.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah,
we got the Stalfos and the Mews.
I have not.
Zelda 2 right here.
Pretty much, but I have not figured out a way to kill those Mews in this game. I think that they're indestructible.
Yeah, they're probably like the sharks.
Yeah, it's too bad you can't shoot the sharks with the shotgun like in Jaws.
You need a bigger boat for that.
Yep, definitely bigger boat. All right, so coming up on the fork boss again, let's see how the Alan Heffley handles this guy.
So I've never made it past 7 stages, but do you know if he changes his pattern where he throws the tater tots ever? Or is it always going to be middle, right, left?
I always thought it was every single one of them is RNG. Are they not?
No, when he throws the tater tots, he's always in the same spot.
Oh, when he throws them. But then when he reappears to come down and down stab you.
Yeah, that's when he moves around.
It's a random. Okay, I see. Well, he handled it pretty well.
Yeah, we won't find out. He got him.
Pretty good fight by Alan Heffley. So he will be moving on to level 5 now. We're back with the cricket noise level.
Yeah, I don't know if we have his game audio, but enjoy the cricket noise.
What would you say is the most frustrating enemy in this game?
That's a tough call. I'd say the Sauls are pretty annoying to me, just because their hitbox disappears when they leave the edge of the screen.
Oh yes, the chainsaws.
Yeah.
I would probably say the if you don't know how to fight them, the ghouls in level 5 and level
The Screamers.
yeah, the ones
These
right here.
guys are,
Yes. It looks like he's going to be yep. See they take you out pretty quickly once you strike them down. They turn into those flashing bat type of creatures, and
Yeah.
they can be
They remind me of the people from that painting, The Scream.
yes.
That's why I refer to them as such.
And who painted that? Do you know?
No.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but I know what painting you're talking about. David Arquette was the painter of that the
As
Scream.
in like Courtney Cox Arquette?
Sure.
Interesting. Actor and painter. Very impressive. And apparently he's also won a WCW title.
Multi-talented. Got to appreciate that.
And landed Courtney Cox.
All right, now we're on the Warren Zevon boss.
You're gonna have to fill me in on that one.
Werewolves of London.
No.
Isn't that the guy who sang Warren Zevon? Isn't that the guy who sang Werewolves?
I don't know. I refer to him as Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox is a good one as well. Oh, but looks like gonna have to use his last continue again. Hopefully, the Alan Heffley will. This is the final boss before the end of this level, so hopefully he'll be able to defeat him this time. And if he has to use a password on level 6, that'd be okay. But using a password here on level 5 would be devastating. Having to start all the way over at the beginning of level 5.
Those skulls in the background don't look human.
They're probably not. It looks like a transitioning to a werewolf is kind of what those skulls look like. So it's maybe they died while making the transformation or something. It was just too much.
Or there was a fighting amongst the ranks.
Oh, like a pecking order type of thing.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, the Alan Heffley makes it, so he's now coming on to level 6. Let's see how he does here.
Oh, it's a good thing this level only has a crescent moon, so you don't have to deal with any werewolves here.
This is the only level that doesn't have some kind of a boss, isn't it?
Yeah, no, this is the final boss in this level is those gaps in the bridge. Especially this last one, the single.
Oh,
never
and
mind.
there he goes, right down the gap. But Alan definitely favors the shotgun in this game, it seems. Let's see if he picks up this one again. Yes, he does. Picking up the burger there is really important. Oh, and the shotgun does blast you back a little bit, and if you jump up over a hole, you're probably going to fall in one, just like what happened right there. So, going back to the beginning of the level again.
I think my favorite thing about this game regarding those holes is if you die and fall into the hole, it will play the entire animation of you falling before it kills you.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I
it's a lot
haven't
of
had
fun
the
to
I haven't had the
lose that
luxury of
time.
seeing that.
It's a good way to lose a lot of time.
It reminds me of Tiny Toons, which you're really familiar with. When you climb up really high in a level, but then take a death and you have to fall all the way to the bottom before the level actually.
Yes, like in the gorilla castle or whatever you want to call it, skyscraper. Wow, I didn't know you could fall there.
That was a very interesting fall. It looked like almost like a clip. The Alan Heffley pulling out all of the advanced speedrunning strategies.
That was highly impressive.
And these holes just continue to give him a lot of trouble, and it looks like he has given up. So the Alan Heffley finishes with a DNF, and he will be the Melvin of the Leprechaun bracket during this first race of the season 7. What did you think of the race, Dark Magician?
Like I said, it was entertaining. I had a feeling that the right side was going to be winning, but Zeb definitely made it competitive, and Alan showed us some interesting new things.
Yes, Thurwolf put up a pretty competitive time right there of 18:48. That should be a pretty good time for him in this bracket. And Zeb Gedney, I think, is going to continue to improve as well. Those two rookies did a pretty impressive job this first time, and Justin Mann taking the win as well. So good for him.
Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to try to get these guys in for some post-race interviews, but they got to get going. They got a link to the past stuff to take care of.
Oh, yep. Those are important. So I guess we got to just move on to that.
Yeah, so with that, thanks for joining me, Coach.
Yes, thank you, Dark Magician.
And we'll send it back to Hans. Star Wipe.
Wins are very important in Season 7. There's only 4 people to a group, so 3 races in each group. Thurwolf and Justin Mann 114 both get their first win in Elite Tournament history. Justin Mann was a part of the SHI Tournament Olympics that preceded Elite Season number 6. He had a few victories there. He had double silver medals, if I remember correctly. Zeb and the Alan Heffley 0-1, but Week 2 is going to be very important for setting yourself up in the postseason. So let's get some more races underway. Group Michael Myers coming up next.
Hello, everybody. It's Armageddon time here, along with D-Pad Danny for Season 7 of the Elite Tournament. Say hello, D-Pad.
Hello, D-Pad.
Joke never gets old. Anyway, we got Splatterhouse, WANPAKU Graffiti, and we are about to kick things off. Right, here we go. Everybody looking around, and we got ourselves a little bit of a race. We're Group Michael Myers, and looks like it almost looks like we're in dead.
Well, I mean, you're going to see that starting out early on, you know. It's about halfway through when you start seeing some separation.
Yeah, dead sync. You see what I did there? Dead. You get. Not really seeing much diversion from the norm here. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's the first level. It's almost a tutorial.
Right, it's pretty much just run and slash.
A Jam Eviler in the bottom corner doing the hop strategy. Maybe trying to do a thriller dance. I'm not sure.
I'm a big fan of that.
That's quite an... sorry, I overtalked you, D-Pad. Did you have something to say?
Oh, I just said I'm a big fan of that strat.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Maybe we'll see it in the future. Who knows?
Well, you know, you gotta feel the game, right? And when you jump around to the beat, you can tell that he's feeling it.
Yeah, this is a game that I personally just enjoy playing, whether it's casual or trying to get better at it. It's simple, it's fun, it doesn't take itself too seriously. Oh, kind of like me.
Yeah, I really like it. Even as a casual game, like you said, it's pretty fun. It feels right. It's a little slippery, but, you know, I mean, it can't be perfect. But what it does make up for is it has so much charm.
I mean, you can't be too perfect in these things. I don't want to poke any holes in your game there, D-Pad, but sometimes it's just how it goes. Man, what are those spikes coming up from the ground? Are they supposed to be something, or is it just like video game spikes?
I don't know. They have those lines kind of around them almost, looking like maybe bamboo spikes.
Bamboo in this house? I don't know. I think we need to call some interior decorating here. I mean, look at all these books. They're just going to waste.
Well, except for the ones flying off the shelf, which are just getting wasted.
Well, I mean, are you speaking metaphorically? Like they're just flying off the shelves?
No, I mean they're wasting them. You know, like in GTA, when you die, it says wasted. You're tearing up.
Oh yeah, sorry. When I think of wasted, I think of well, my Saturday nights.
So everyone doing their thing on the boss here.
And yeah, actually, not doing too badly. Gotta commend everybody so far.
Yeah, it looks like Edge was the first one out there.
Yeah, already we can see some diversion in the top match and the bottom match. But you never know. We all have our difficult places, but you know, maybe they'll make it up in the back half.
Well, and I mean they're all still relatively close. You know, I mean it's still early in the game. There's a lot of game left, a lot of opportunities for mishap.
And only so many continues as Jam Eviler burns a continue in this early section of the game. But the thing with this game is you can die like just that. I mean, good gravy. Just like, even though you're given a lot of health, just within an instant, it can just boom, 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 boom.
That's true. That's true. It's easy to get rickrolled in this one with the lack of iframes.
Get rickrolled. I like it. Has that been a term that's been going around? I'm sorry, I can't get over it.
I don't know. I think it's face rolled, but I always kind of combine the two.
Because the lead dude's name is Rick.
It's so perfect.
Oh, we have fun here. We have fun while we run around in the muck, in the grime, in the sewage, if you will.
Speaking of, you know, I noticed, you know, you have candy drops here in the sewer, and they're just picking them up. Like, what would you eat candy from the sewer? And if you were, what candy would it have to be for you to consider?
If it was candy from the sewer, it would have to probably be... Unfortunately, it would be that disgusting kind of, you know, that stuff you get at Halloween? They wrap it like 15 times, and in the end, it's just this gross, disgusting caramel thing that you don't even want to eat by the time that you unwrap it. There's bits of, like, plastic still stuck to it. But I know for sure it would be, far away from any sewage after having unraveled the thing like a mummy.
You know, that's a valid point. You know, all that protective layer, keeping the germs off. Well, I mean, not entirely, I'm sure, but I digress.
While we're in the season of November, what Halloween candy would you have from the sewer, par chance?
Well, that's a tough one. Probably something fruity. Something like Skittles or something. If they were individually bagged Skittles in a bigger bag of individually bagged Skittles, then maybe in that case they might be protected.
Now, what about just all together? Like, what is your favorite, when you were a child, what would be your favorite get for they have to be the fun-sized, like, candies, though, or chocolates. Because, you know, the big get is always the full-size chocolate bar, but what would be your favorite little...
Well, that's hard to say. I mean, I always like the gummy stuff. Like, when my sister and I would go, she would always, like, trade me all the gummies for the suckers. Like, she would want all the blow pops, and I could have pretty much anything else I wanted. So it was usually those, and I think when I was a kid, probably Butterfingers was a big go.
Butterfingers. Well, you know, speaking of suckers, they say one's born every minute. We got a lot of spiders on the screen, something I'm not a huge fan of.
Puke 7
Probably
taking
my
the
least...
game over.
Oh, no! I'm glad you caught it.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't trying to talk over you, but yeah, everyone seems like they're pretty close, except for Puke having a little bit of issue there on the rat boss. He's, that's a tough one, man.
D-pad, if there's anybody that needs talking over, it's me. So feel free to please tell me to shut up if need
Shut
be, as the meme goes. Look at this.
Who's
we got
going
four.
to church this late?
This late. Hey, it's you know, it's the good church. They're always open. I think. Are they always open? Do they always accept people? I don't know. It's been a while since I've been there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Do they still do that, like, I don't know, like coffee and free donuts thing on the Sundays after the? I don't know. It's been far too. We're diverging too far from the topic at hand, which is, dang, look at that disgusting green rat.
Yeah, it looks like Puke was trying the sewage strats, but he jumped a little bit too early and got smacked back. It seems like he's having a tough time there.
It's a
I
big
feel his
gamble.
pain. That's a yeah. But he gets it.
Oh, thank goodness. Puke 7, you can continue and
He's
maybe
got-
make up some time, see where you can save.
gotta
Meanwhile,
feel a
Jam
little
Evil
bit
are
better
having a
about
time.
Yeah. Everyone else is, like I said, still pretty close. Looks like Edge is in the lead still.
Just edging it out there.
I see what you did there.
Hopefully, his opponent can shake it off.
Not as good that time.
I tried. Oh no! Edge!
Oh, that's gonna hurt. I think that gives Dig Shake the lead.
Yeah, that brings us much closer. And yeah, I believe Dig Shake is in the lead. Unbelievable to imagine, but yes, sometimes, you know, lightning strike.
That might be the first lead change so far in this group of races, I believe.
We got a Brundlefly in the bottom right-hand corner being taken down by a Shoddy.
And the added jump strats.
Always a novelty here on the Elite Show. Season 7. Oh yeah.
And there's
Coming
Edge.
up to the, sorry, go.
I was just saying, there's Edge joining Dig Shake on the camp level. Isn't it Diamond Lake in this one?
Yeah, Diamond Lake, Crystal Lake. Do you get it yet?
It's from that movie about the Candy Man, right?
Candyman. Yeah, you say Candyman, was it 15 times in the mirror, and then Bloody Mary steals your soul?
Is that the original or the remake?
It's the reboot of the remake. Probably Gus Van Sant directed it.
Oh yeah, that one wasn't as good.
Wonder if they'd ever remake this game. Like, I don't know, do like a Castlevania Adventure remix kind of thing with it.
You know, I don't know. I doubt it. I think it's like niche enough to where maybe not. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Splatterhouse reboot for the PS3 and the 360 in general, I don't think did so well.
No, but this is kind of a different game, like a different feel of a game altogether. It's less, you know, walk around, beat 'em up, and it's more, well, platformy.
Right, and I mean, I know it was a one-off, so I think it's rather unlikely. There's Jam finishing up the Fork Demon. Different people call him different things.
Yeah, I just tell him to get forked.
Yeah, I think on my splits it's Mother Forker.
Oh, the fork jokes. So many utensil potential. Meanwhile, we got Puke 7 going for the greatest of all time down here.
Jam holding on to his pretty commanding lead at this point.
But like I said, anything is possible. We did see him take a death, so you never know. a death at the wrong spot, like say near the end of a section, could put you all the way back.
That's true. I mean, a death on the boss of the game, if you're towards the end, can put you back, you know, what, 2.5 minutes potentially?
2.5 minutes to send you back an entire continue. You only have so many of those things.
That's true.
I'm trying to watch all 4 races at the same time, and I'm seeing 4 completely different things. My head is a tizzy. I'm not sure even what to make of it. See a lot of wood area. Oh no, and I see a lot of red in the top left.
Edgestream
And
taking
top,
the death.
bottom.
Got a double whammy here.
D-pad, what is going on?
Well, Edge took a death, and then Jam took a death. Jam's still in good shape, though. He's still got that lead, but that might hurt Edgestream a little bit. He's already behind, and that puts him almost a whole stage behind at this point as well. Oh, and Dig Shake with the death on the spikes.
Oh boy, those freaking spikes.
And
you just
this
get
is Sorry, this is a very close race now. All of a sudden.
Yeah, this is really becoming something. I like this.
Jam
Puke
making
7
use
is
of those
making up
bucket
ground
strats.
too.
We keep talking over each other.
I understand.
I'm talking, Arma.
Yes, sometimes you just gotta tell me to shut up very loudly, and I will do so because, you know, I'm always sticking my foot in my...
You know, that's not hygienic.
I don't know, my doctor told me that it was perfectly fine. And then he laughed and took out his camera and said, alright, just sit over there for a little.
Here's some beads, kid. Go play with those in the corner.
Is that from something?
No, I'm just ad-libbing. Edge and Dig Shake, extremely close.
Oh no, the dreaded falling from the bridge.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Maybe not hurt his life bar, but definitely hurt his pride. And
Oh,
time.
absolutely. Yeah. These are the kinds of mistakes that you can't afford to make in the last stage, but it definitely happens. This area can be tricky, especially, you know, with all the stuff coming out.
No kidding, you can't afford to make those mistakes. Hell, I can't even afford to make a sandwich.
We're seeing Edge enter the house. Jam's already underway. Puke is trying to get caught up, playing the Diamond Lake stage here.
Oh yeah,
you
we're
see-
starting to approach endgame.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah, we're getting close to the potential end of, you know, 2 competitors here. Now 3 competitors, and Puke 7 really trying to make up ground. But like I said, anything is possible. Absolutely anything. I don't understand the whole pumpkin thing, like eating you and then some dude puts you in the mouth. Like, what even is that?
I'm not really sure. There's got to be some sort of trans-dimensional portal.
Ooh, I like that narrative. Please go on.
Science!
Oh, you ruined it. I was going for something mythical. Come on, man.
Well, that's your fault for setting higher expectations for me than I deserve.
I deserve that. But man, that room that Jam was just in, worst room in the game in my personal opinion. They get bodied by those freaking ghosts.
That's a tough one, but the one on that Dig Shake's on getting through right now, the clock room, is that can call for some pretty precise.
Yeah, and it's a huge time loss because it sends you back to the beginning of that room if you fall in.
We got Jam fighting the last boss while Puke is working on Mother Forker. And Edge is entering the final stretch of the Hell House, stopping for the soda pop.
You know that fork boss, when I saw him, the first image that came to my mind was, you know, that in Fantasia, that section with that looks like it's in hell, bald mountain or whatever. I thought of like the Satan dude in that.
You know, I don't remember that bit. It's not one of the ones that stands out in my head, but I know that you've watched it recently, so I will take your word for it.
That's the best part. He's like making devils appear, and there's like lava splashing over. Oh, dude, it's so epic. I know people throw around that word, but that's like a heavy metal album come to life. Oh my goodness, it's like a laser light show up in here. Look at this.
And cue the disco music. No, that's a discotheque. That's not a disco.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was thinking of one of those things in Montreal.
Three of our racers taking down this boss.
Poor little pumpkin. He just wants to bounce around.
It's an interesting choice that the last boss would be the pumpkin. I guess it's, you know, so synonymous with Halloween that, you know, that there couldn't have been anything else. So I wonder, you know, some of the more putrid things in the classic Splatterhouse games, how they would have translated if they hadn't have pulled in all these pop culture references and, you know, Halloween tropes in general, as Jam finishes the last boss.
Shield your eyes in case you suffer from epileptic seizures, because Jam Eviler is about to be the victor.
And there's Jam finishing with a time of 19 minutes and 12 seconds.
Not bad at all. Nothing to cry about. As we see Rick's girlfriend Jennifer embrace him lovingly. And we got the two other pumpkins up there doing their...
And there's Edgestream landing the last hit. And Puke7 is climbing the steps to the Hell House.
Yeah, he is not giving up. He is going to see this through. I certainly hope he does.
And what a trooper, too. And we have a very close finish. Edgestream winning with 1954. Digshake coming up just short with a 1957. What a close race.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was right back and forth. Like, we saw several lead changes, but Edgestream just edging out Digshake. Oh, dang, I used that one already. But still, it was a very great race. We're watching Puke7, cheering him on. Come on, D-Pad, cheer along with me.
Come on, Puke. You can do it, man. Finish this.
He's finally in Hell House, making his way. Man, we've had some great racers here, you know. We've had a couple of trip-ups, but it's very early. This is week 1. I can only imagine what we're going to see in week 2, 3, 4, and everything beyond.
No, yeah, it's definitely going to be a season full of possibility.
I mean, in last season, we've seen everything from world record in the game to somebody taking almost 3 times the amount of the world record just to complete.
That's true. And, you know, I mean, in watching the world record run for this, it's good, but I still feel like there's some possible time. I think it's totally possible that someone could take the world record in this one this season.
Yeah, I've seen it too, and there are mistakes made that I think could be polished out. You are correct. You are correct, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here's that dreaded clock room.
He's doing pretty good despite getting hit there. Yep. Through with minimal issues. Chugging right.
I like to call this the go room because you just go.
I struggled with that room for a while, man. For some reason, like, I would be fearful that the bats would catch up to me, so I would go in the first door that I see, and every time I did it, I'm like, crap, I went in the wrong door.
Oh, yeah, there's the bathroom you can go in, right?
Yep. I mean, luckily you can come right back out, but it kills about, I don't know, 5 seconds or so from the transition.
Ooh, that could be devastating.
And here we got Puke starting the final boss. And back to the discotheque.
Yes, back to the discotheque. Interesting that this boss is working off of pinball physics or Windows screensavers, whatever you like to call it. Here's an interesting question. What was your favorite screensaver in like the mid-90s?
That's a tough one. I feel like I liked the one that was kind of like the lines that made the luminous vector shapes.
The luminous specter shape? You mean like those random lines that would make like pipes?
No, but the pipes were cool, but no, they were like vector shapes. You know, it was like a spinning, evolving shape that was made up of lines of different colors.
Oh yeah, that one actually was pretty cool. Yeah, I personally
about
like
you?
the brick maze.
You
Brick
know,
maze. All
how did I know you were going to say that? Because that's everyone's answer. Oh
well,
yeah,
I'm
3D
sorry if I
maze.
like something that's universally loved.
I'm
I
not going to
mean,
respond to
you know,
that.
I'd be looking for the exit, kind of. I mean, I know that there never was one, but you were just hoping that maybe there would be something.
Yeah, and I guess it always kind of had that feeling like you were, passively playing Doom, but like a peaceful version with no enemies and no key.
So, like, Super Noah's Ark 3D.
Well, I mean that one you actually have a little bit of action,
Yeah, I guess so.
if you want to call it action, that is,
Maybe like beating or killing all the enemies in in the first level in Wolfenstein 3D, and they're just kind of walking around for a little while.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
I think I've lost track of how many hits Puke 7's gotten on the guy, but it don't matter. Just rinse and repeat every single time he appears.
Yep, he's gonna do this, and there it is. See, it was 16. I knew it. Yeah, I was counting
Good
the whole
timing.
time.
All right, well, let's see. We got to wait for the official result here.
2501. But you know what? He finished it, and good on him for doing that.
And I mean, you can only improve from here, watching other people, watching this very race and picking up strategies and simply just grinding it out. And he'll celebrate with a Melvin hat. So there we go. There's the first big race. Well, the first four-way anyway, with Team Michael Myers. So what do you think, D-Pat? How did it go?
We had a good showing, man. The Edgestream and Dig Shake race really close. Jam Eviler had some mishaps, but still ended up with a pretty respectable time. And then again, Puke 7 sticking in there and making sure he finished it. That's something can be said for that.
Got any last words before we send it back on up to Hans?
Discombobulated.
Oh, that's a great word. I'll say intransigent. So on that note, for D-Pad Danny, I'm Armageddon Time, and we'll send it back up to Hans Buttface. Hans? Oh, by the way, I forgot my catchphrase. And that's all the marbles!
Both players that got eliminated in the Cesspool Championship bracket last season are off to a 1-0 start. Dig Shake and Puke 7 have some catching up to do. Next race up is in Group Leatherface. Let's check it out.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Group Leatherface race for this week. We got Arma versus Random Effect and Angry versus Zarnax. I'm Zyrak. I'm joined in the studio by Edge. How?
Doing all right. Looks like we're about ready to go. Everybody queuing up on the start menu. But yeah, I'm excited for this Group Leatherface.
Yeah, this is. I think this will be one of the closer groups overall here, and we had our adventure started in Hold Right Simulator here.
Oh yeah, and that is some fine holding right we're seeing here.
Yep, fantastic. Yeah, holding right, swinging an axe every once in a while. It's a great first level.
But interesting to see some people go for the double hit while other people just walk right on underneath that.
Yeah, it just depends on whether or not you want to risk getting the potential stop on your holding right. And here we are at Michael Jackson Vampire.
Yeah, so yeah, Arma and Larry with 9 out of 10, Random Effect and Zarnax with 6 out of 10. Usually evens out at the end, but no problem with getting off to a fast start in the level.
For sure. All right, so when we get through this, Edge, what's your favorite moment that from you streaming on Twitch so far in your Twitch career?
Oh, in my Twitch career, that's shoot, that's a real good one. I think winning the Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament. That was pretty sweet. That's
a good one. I don't mind immediately. I was just running a practice SRL race of Link to the Past Randomizer, and I made a joke about the Thick Fairy in the Pyramid and Fat Chicks Needing Love Too, and some guy named Angry Larry in my chat said he sprayed Mountain Dew all over his computer. So that's definitely my favorite so far.
All right. Once again with the holding right.
Do the vampire into, I guess, a little mini boss gauntlet. Definitely some RNG in terms of how the books spawn in this next part. And then do probably skill-wise the hardest boss fight in terms of actually getting this quick kill down, maybe, in the next one.
Yeah, I think that and going the upper route for the rat are kind of the two harder elements in the game.
All four guys in this one are actually doing pretty well with the book. The ground shake can actually make this really, really screwy sometimes.
Yeah, the ground shake can cause you to desync pretty well, but everybody made it through all right.
So here we go for the doll head. It's possible to trap it in the corner and quick kill it, but it definitely punishes you if you miss it. And it looks like all the guys here have let it get away a little bit.
Yeah, Zarnax had a nice recovery though. Lost it and then pinned it almost immediately. It's like Arma's going to be the next out here, followed by Larry and then Random Effect.
Larry taking a lot of damage there. Going to have to be careful on the next couple of screens if he wants to avoid a death.
Ooh, down to 1.
Yeah. You really get ping-ponged real bad in this game on occasion. That's definitely one spot there where it can happen. And we get to our daggers and chicken.
Yeah, and I was just gonna ask if Larry was thinking about taking an intentional death. Just jumps right into a chicken right at the start, so full health, doesn't have to worry about getting halfway through the fight and then die.
Yeah, for sure. Game is pretty forgiving when it comes to continues and restarting, thankfully.
Yeah, and Zarnax already heading into the sewer. Everybody else dealing with the oven and the knives, right?
Arma on his way now as well. Looks like Random and Larry are gonna finish out at about the same time here.
So still a pretty close race. Feel like Larry is maybe about a death behind, depending on where Zarnax is at. So
yeah, it looks like everybody's building health fairly efficiently as well. I don't think we'll have any issues with that going forward, generally speaking. And getting up to this rat, it looks like Zarnax is choosing to take the top route. We'll see what the other three guys choose to do.
yeah, upper route, a few seconds faster, but definitely riskier if you get smacked by the... Yeah, like right there. You gotta go all the way back to the start.
Oof.
And Arma just taking the water route, so she's got a nice move there, waiting for the rat to jump before swinging upward. Angry Larry gonna take the safe route too.
Yep, and it looks like Random is gonna brave the Rat Gauntlet, but Arma taking a lead amongst the 4 racers with that nice rat fight. As we get to these pumpkin street sections, which are tougher than they look, I think initially, pretty fair to say.
Yeah, it's good to get into those street sections with a lot of health. The faster you can get through, and like the less time you spend kicking over trash cans to get candy, the easier it is.
Oh, Zarnak's getting knocked off the platforms up there.
Ooh, it's also got a shotgun, so I wonder if recoil kind of came into play. Yeah, still there. Got Arma cruising on the street right now, while everybody else is just getting to the end of the spider fight.
Yeah, Arma showing what can happen in those street sections when they go poorly, just getting ping pong between about 3 different enemies there.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you end up getting ping-ponged even harder when you go for candy. So, fortunately, this stretch that Arma is on right now, you get 2 pieces of candy and a level up most of the time. So he's going to be great on health going into the goat fight.
Yep, should be pretty good. Few different ways you can choose to handle this. I'm sure there are some people doing what Zarnax is doing and bringing a shotgun in here to try to clear the bats out. Other people doing what Arma is doing and trying to get them as they spawn. A couple different ways you can try and trap the goat itself too against the side. You can either sort of position yourself perfectly, or you can sort of jump into him. And if you jump and swing, the hitbox on your axe is usually big enough to get him no matter where he is.
Yeah, Arma going ham on this goat.
Yeah, there you go. Arma's doing the jump in and jump out strat there. Works really well.
Yeah, that was a very, very quick goat fight, and then onto the street again. Meanwhile,
with a really nice stun lock there too as well.
Yeah, and Larry drawing ahead of Zarnax here, so good goat fight for him.
Yeah, the Larry Zarnax race in particular has been really back and forth. Whenever one of the guys makes a bit of a mistake, the other guy's been picking it up and passing them. It's really close to.
Yeah, Zarnax going with the early shotgun to help him clear out those pumpkin heads. Larry with a full shotgun going into this fight. As long as you have, your 4 or 5 shots, you're.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to miss enough times to actually run out of shells. Arma into the river section, and those little moving spike things are my most hated enemy in this game by a long shot.
Yeah, and there's plenty more where that came from in this level. Yeah, Random Effect having a little trouble with the fly boss, but finally makes it through. Arma still on pretty good pace, first to reach the cabin here. It takes a little bit of time to scooch over those spike monsters.
Zarnax having a really good river section here. I think he's making up a bit of time on Larry.
Nice damage boost into the burger for Larry.
Now going to be heading off to the... do you know what this guy is even supposed to be at the end of this thing? I mean, I've been calling him a wizard, but I don't
know. Maybe it's like the Iron Chef gone mad or something. I have no idea.
I mean, that's way better than just some wizard with a fork. Yeah, we'll just go with that. It's the Iron Chef gone crazy. That's fine. Yeah, you can, if you're on top of it, you can generally get him from wherever. But if he decides to spawn in one of the corners from you, that you can miss him. And looks like everyone's gonna catch back up on we'll have all 4 of our runners on the boss at the same time here, it looks like.
Yeah, Random Effect making up some good time in the camp section. Dodged to the right and he spawned on the left, so Random Effect misses the cycle, but has been doing very good in the fight otherwise. And yeah, we've got almost everybody through.
Yeah, virtually a dead heat there between Angry Larry and Zarnax. Angry Larry's a couple of seconds ahead. And once again with this wood screen where it's really fast if it all goes perfect, but again, if you mess something up a little bit, you just get bounced between those spike stumps and enemies, and it's just feels terrible.
Yeah, a lot of times it's actually safer to take those damage boosts just because of consistency. And we've got Arma and Larry into the water section, so Larry catching up on the leader here, and Zarnax not too far behind.
Yeah, really nice screamer section there from Larry. That's a tough room. Zarnax follows it up with a really nice one of his own.
Yeah, and ooh, Arma taking it easy over the pit. Larry just goes straight over, so looks like he is in the lead, and gets bodied by that bat.
Oh, man. The ping-ponging is just, it's hilarious to watch, but it also stings you right in your gut when you know you run the game as well, and when that happens to you.
Alright, no candy, so I wonder if Larry will take an intentional death there. Yeah. Zarnax, with now on the lead here, and with a bucket, can take a little bit extra damage on this next one.
Yeah, hoping the wolf jumps into you more often than he jumps away from you. When he jumps away from you, it just you tend to miss him, and he also, in my experience, tends to rebound off the wall, and you get stuck in his hitbox too. It's real.
Zarnax on his last hit goes down, so now trading the lead back to Larry again.
Back to Larry, yeah. And Random is right here as well.
Yeah, and Arma once again taking the lead for all the racers. Makes it through with 2 health to go.
Yeah, Arma going bucketless and getting through the boss first. So we got Larry is through, and Random is on his way through here as well. This little bridge section here is not too bad as long as you don't get knocked off into one of these holes. Hopefully, didn't just curse anybody.
It's not too bad as long as you don't get baited by the shotgun. I tried that once, never again.
Yep. If you could drop it, it wouldn't be too bad, because it'd be useful for the first couple of screens, but yeah, definitely bad for the last bridge section for sure.
The bats and the projectiles not kind to Arma. Larry making it through no problem. He'll be the first into the mansion here.
Arma will be right behind him, and then it looks like Random will be up next. Heading into the mansion, the last stage. So one of my practice runs when I was running to the right to get in front of this guy, I apparently also held just enough of up to go to Egypt unintentionally.
Oh no,
That was,
I guess
yeah. So
yeah. No Cleopatra tonight, unfortunately.
yeah, unfortunately, I'm sure we will see Egypt in one of these races at some point. Larry having a really nice chainsaw room there. And I really hate that fire and fly room that Arma just went through as well. Then it doesn't get any easier with the clocks.
Yeah, this one, you know, for being hold right simulator the entire game, the clock room punishes you for that strategy, so you gotta take some stutter steps, but pretty easy once you get the hang.
Yep. Oh, Zarnax. There's not a lot of pixels to make that one jump that Zarnax made there and not fall down the hole or get hit. So
Okay.
nice jump.
Grooved right through there. So Larry into the screamer room, and judging from the health, probably gonna take some soda here.
Definitely don't want to drop like a minute and a half final bus for 3 seconds at the Coke machine.
Yeah, definitely. Although for Larry, it's probably a pop machine.
True. What's your soda of choice, Edge?
I actually gave up soda a long time ago. Yeah,
Fair.
like a few years ago. So, oh, look at me. I live in California. I gave up soda.
As long as you don't drink any of that La Croix crap, then I think it's fine.
Nah, I mean, I'll go for a nice horchata every now and then, but
You mentioned that. I mean, I haven't fully given it up, but I definitely used to drink it all the time and don't drink it a whole lot anymore. So I feel you, actually. So it looks like all 4 guys are having a pretty solid pumpkin fight here. I haven't noticed anyone really get a long cycle anywhere.
yeah, this is real close, and nobody's gotten, you know, chain stunned by the pumpkin, mini pumpkins yet either. So
Yeah, everybody's health looks good. This will be a super close finish. Random missing 1 cycle there. Yeah, this is super tense. Both of these races are going to come down to a matter of seconds here.
yeah, just you know, anybody misses a swing on the Pumpkin King, that's a few seconds one way or the other, and this is a real tight race.
Yeah, Angry and Zarnax have been flipping back and forth the whole time, and Random Effect is fell behind early against Arma, but has really made up a lot of time as the race has gone on.
Yeah, real good execution in the last mansion section, but we have the first death, and it's on Larry's side. Arma not too far behind.
GG.
Wow, and Zarnax is done with the Pumpkin King too, so Larry is the winner with a time of 19:10. So GG to Larry. Arma not too far behind, winning his race with a time of 19:14.
Yeah, terrific. Real close races. Zarnax finishing 8 seconds behind his competitor Larry with a 19:18. And Random also going to sit through the forever taking death sequence here.
All right, and 1938 in the Melvin hat for Random, but good effort by everybody all around. Just kept it real close.
Yeah, absolutely. Real good race. Really exciting. The two different ways you'd like to see close races. Lots of lead changes and somebody making a really nice comeback attempt. So I think with that, we will send it back up to Hans in the booth.
Vindication for Angry Larry as he beats his former 2 gamers 1 Melvin teammate Zarnax 42 by 8 seconds. Angry Larry, was the Season 6 fastest average time participant. You remember him. He made his way to the relegation race, won the relegation race, and then got relegated due to realignment. Also making it through the relegation race and getting relegated was Armageddon Time. He moves on to 1-0. Random Effect also in that relegation race. He did get relegated. So 3 of the 4 participants of Season 6 relegation race are in this group. 2 of them are off to a 1-0 start, and 1 of them is off to an 0-1 start. But we have 2 more weeks to go. And let's continue with race number 4.
Hey, welcome everyone again to the Group Freddy match. We've got Coach Crab versus Near and D-Pad Danny versus Bent Glass Tube. I'm joined here by Uro on commentary. How you doing this?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. We are off to a quick start here. So,
any expectations for this race? I can't really decide. There's a lot of really good racers for this top bracket.
Well, so far things look a little different on Bent Glass Tube's side, but everything else seems to be proceeding as normal. We've got some 9-mile-an-hour wind coming in Bent Glass Tube's face, and D-Pad Danny takes his shot. That's unfortunate. All right, everybody's safely into the thriller round here. Which boss is your favorite, would you say, in the speedrun?
I think that my favorite boss is probably the goat boss, and it's mostly just based on the fact that he's really fast, and it takes a lot of effort to kind of get him down, and then it's kind of a little bit unpredictable when you first start doing that type of fight.
Yeah, he can definitely be a fun boss, and it feels like there's a lot of skill in that fight too, just trying to get those I don't know, those floating demon things before they spawn. But it looks like BGT is having some trouble with the rough boss here. And everyone makes it through the thriller boss okay, and soon to get to the bookshelf. What do you like to do to set up for the bookshelf fight?
I think that for the bookshelf fight, I mean, it's hard for me to kind of understand if this is a little bit more based on RNG than just hitting the books, because it seems at first when you're just kind of doing this fight that you're just kind of going through and hitting the books, and then you're just going to be making it through. But it's hard to really tell if you need to hit both books at the same time, or if you just have to make it go just a little bit faster, or if you're just kind of just going through the motions to kind of get the same time. I haven't really figured it out quite yet.
All right, well, we've got everybody synced up going into the oh wow, we got a couple of nice quick kills on the top, and D-pad just a little bit off, but almost recovers there.
Yeah, this area right here with the spiders jumping across platforms, it's a pretty dangerous area where you can definitely just fall off and just lose a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, always good to take this a little bit safe if you're not sure. And now here we have the Showtime Rotisserie Oven, sponsored by Ron.
Yeah, I think the first thing that a lot of people learned when they started first trying to start this game was that they would go for the chicken and not the knives. Then you kind of found out the horrible truth that it was actually the knife.
All right. And as Coach and Nirm are falling into the sewer, bent glass tube. Oh, misses the shot for par. That's a heartbreak. D-pad Danny not too far behind.
Do you have a preferred method of going for the giant green mouse that's coming up?
I know it's a little bit of a time sink, but I prefer to go in the lower route. Not super confident with my execution going over the top, even though it's a bit slower. It feels a lot safer to me.
Yeah, I definitely feel that a lot of racers, considering that they're going to be doing races and not necessarily doing speed runs, are probably going to be taking the bottom route just for the safety issue. And, well, unless you miss the mouse and then you go back to the top, then it's a horrible time loss.
Yeah, it's pretty catastrophic, and you don't want to swing. Yeah, I was just going to say, you don't want to try your swing the moment the mouse jumps, and that got D-pad Danny, and he's going to have to go.
When taking the death at the boss is even worse, because usually a lot of boss fights you'll have the screens transition right at the boss, which will then, if you have it continue, then you basically start at that screen. But for the mouse boss, you start at the very, very beginning of the level, which is pretty much the most horrible place to die.
Yeah, that is a killer. BGT getting par lined up for the birdie here, while Coach Crab and Near fighting off the chains. And both got some pretty good movement on the chainsaws, kind of baiting them into the corner there.
I think one thing about the spider fight that I don't quite yet understand is that I feel that a lot of people, if you're comparing videos, they'll get different times on these spiders. They'll range from something like a minute to like a minute 10 going through this. So I'm not quite exactly sure what influences speed, other than the fact that maybe you're hitting spiders before they hit the ground, or you're just in the right spot hitting the spiders fast enough, or if it's an RNG thing.
Yeah, I think since I've only ever really seen like 3 spiders on the screen at once, if you can go after them faster, I think it makes them spawn quick.
And there's also the fact that a lot of the spiders will just, there's definitely one part where about 5 or 6 spiders pop out at the same time.
Yeah, the grand finale can be a little tricky, but Coach and Nirm getting through it okay. And now on to the big goat. BGT picks up another bogey on the hole 6.
I think another interesting thing about this goat boss is that it might make sense that you want to hit, I guess you would call them the birds, as they're kind of popping up. But a thing that many people might not realize is that there's some type of hitbox as the crows pop up. So it's like if you're trying to jump across the hexagon, Star of David, cross, whatever, you're going to take damage.
Yeah, and Nirm's doing a really good job of taking these guys out here, so that's going to be a really clean fight into the goat fish.
So what's the faster game? 18 rounds of golf or Splatterhouse?
It's 18 rounds of golf, but BGT's got to pick up the pace a little bit here. He can go a minute per hole and still come out ahead. But he's on hole 7 right now, so...
Fly boss is probably the easiest boss in the game if you remember to pick up the shotgun. If you don't remember to pick up the shotgun, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, you have to wait for him to dive down, and it's no fun at all. but everybody picked up their shotguns, and interesting. It looks like Nirm has killed about 8 or 10 more people along the way than Coach had.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of, I don't know if the right word is variety of kind of enemies that you can pick up in terms of kills. I know this game kind of looks like a hold right and push the jump button type game, but there's definitely a lot of variety in how you approach it and what you're killing and what you're not killing.
Ooh, gets shot by some fish crossing the river, but Coach makes it through cleanly, does a nice damage boost into the burger, so gained a few seconds there. D-pad Danny fighting off the goat right now, makes it through with 3 health left.
I don't think there's really much to say about the shark part. Just jump and just try and get through it.
Yeah, I think there's only one tricky one where that one goes a little faster than the
And then when you get to the fork and knife boss, or I don't even know, what's your name for this boss? I'm not even exactly sure who this is.
I don't know. It's some dude playing fork knife. That's all I know. It's what all the kids are doing these days.
There's definitely a chance that when you're with this boss, you can probably lose a little bit of time if he's to the far left of the screen and you're a little bit too slow.
Yeah, you want to be definitely more towards the center when you dodge those the Deku nuts he's throwing around.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of enemies like throwing the I don't know what you would call it, like orange balls, oranges, nuts. I'm not sure, but a lot of enemies like use.
And BGT onto the 9th hole there. Into the sewer section for Coach and Nirm, and wow, they are almost step for step, so this race got real. Oh no, Nirm got bodied by the aliens. Gotta go back to the start of the screen, but fortunately it's a short one.
Definitely think that everyone's favorite enemy in the game is the jumping alien ghost things. And we'll definitely probably see that later on in the mansion, right before the final boss.
All right, Coach taking some damage going through. We'll see if he goes for a bucket here. Oh no, no Iron Man strats.
So Edge, do you prefer bucket or no bucket?
Oh, I always take the bucket because I'm always into this area of the game with like no health left.
Yeah, I definitely prefer bucket just because I feel like the giant Wolfman boss is generally want to get kind of close and personal with him, and you can take a lot of damage trying to do that.
Yeah, and Nirm goes for the bucket, and Coach is out, taking the lead, but Nirm is through the wolf fight himself. But yeah, I just feel like the previous stretch of screen, you want to take a lot of damage boosts, so you end up quite often like half health, and it just feels a lot safer to me to take the bucket.
For me, I feel like this is the part right before you get to the mansion. This is kind of a breather before getting to some of the harder parts of the game.
Yeah, some of the jumping can be a little tricky to do quickly, but Coach and Nirm are making it look easy. And D-pad is going through the woods right now. Getting a little light on health, though. A little scary. And Coach is into the mansion right now. Alright. Cleopatra or Riot? No, Coach isn't gonna do it.
Never quite understood what was going on here. So he throws you into a dinosaur skull, and then you wake up, and then you continue the game.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's like, I don't know, maybe like one of those isolation chambers or something. You just get a good night's rest for an hour and then move on.
Kind of like Earthbound or something. Or, or like, no, sorry, Chrono Trigger, where you get in the machine and you're well rested, but you're still hungry.
Yeah, and maybe that's why Rick goes for the soda machine at the end.
I think another thing I appreciate about this game is that there is a sort of boss gauntlet, but it's not annoying because you face the chainsaws again, and then you face all the flies again, but then that's it. There's nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, you could go into the bathroom and fight the plunger, but strictly optional.
Definitely worth it during a race to go into the bathroom and fight the plunger boss. You get style points for that.
Ooh, nice clean alien room for Coach.
You can definitely tell Coach was probably worried about that room, and he probably grinded that out quite a lot.
Yeah, Nirm taking some shots. So we'll see if he stops at the soda machine.
So does the award for best boss in the game go to Pumpkin King, or am I totally off base there?
Pumpkin King is a fine boss for like the first 5 or 6 hits, but you know, after that you start wishing you were somewhere.
I'm sure chat right now is counting down the number of hits until the pumpkin is dead. It's probably the most exciting time.
Yeah, it's like place your bets. What hit is he gonna go down on this time? Can we get the Splatterhouse randomizer going?
I definitely think that it's gonna come down. There's gonna be some future race. This is my prediction. Some future race where it's gonna be a nail biter to who's gonna miss a swing on Pumpkin King. That's my prediction.
I sure hope so.
But they knew this boss was going to be super boring, so they had to kind of make the level look amazing, you know, with the seizure-inducing floor and glowing backgrounds.
Oh, yeah, BGT just easing that shot in for a bogey. And D-Pad Danny going through the clock room, and I didn't mention that. Oh, takes a shot, falls back through the floor. This is, the movement through this floor is pretty tricky, too.
I think definitely the tricky part about the clock room is trying to keep going without really stopping.
Oh, wow, Nirm took 5 damage in one go, but that's it. The pumpkin head gets blown up on Coach's side, and just gotta wait for the input to drop. Oh, Nirm takes another, I don't know, mini pumpkin nut to the face. But Coach Crab is your winner in that race with a time of 17:56.
It's a pretty impressive time, sub 18. I think definitely one thing to really be worried about for fighting the Pumpkin King boss is getting trapped on those small pumpkins. Because if you're kind of near the corner of the screen, and you could just lose at least 3 or 4 health without even noticing.
Yeah, you can get chain stun there, and that basically is what happened to Nirm. Lost all of his soda health in one round. Alright, we've got D-Pad onto the pumpkin boss himself, and BGT onto the 16th hole. But I think the 18th is a par 5, so this is gonna be real dice.
I think you can definitely tell that BGT here is really under pressure. He knows that there's only so much time left.
And 5-mile-an-hour wind away from the hole is not going to help that.
I think another problem with dying on the Pumpkin King boss is that you literally have to do it all over again, unless you just decide that you want to dot forfeit.
Yeah, it is one of the most time-consuming places to take a death. I feel like that and kind of the beginning, the corridor before the wolf are pretty much the worst places to die.
I am kind of glad that the cinematic Michael Jackson boss, or I guess you would call it, I don't know if you would call it a boss, but I'm kind of glad that's at the very beginning of the game, so in case, you know, if you were doing runs, you didn't have to watch it, you know, as you got to the middle of the game, or even later. Because it does take a lot of time to kind of sit through sprites going left and right.
Alright, Pumpkin King down for Nier with a time of 2020. And D-Pad Danny not too far behind. Oh, BGT's on the 18th hole, but he's just misses the fortune cookie bunker. Is he gonna make it? No! D-Pad Danny, the winner, with a time of 20:33, and BGT just a shot short, it seems.
Yeah, good effort for BGT. You can really tell that he was putting the hustle in there.
Oof. Bit of an overshoot, but probably read the IRC window and knows he's definitely behind.
Yeah, I can tell that BGT's taken this loss pretty harsh. He's not even trying to put it in the hole anymore. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it goes for the 4-putt and finishes with a time of 21:27. And his caddy Orno calls him a Melvin, and he gets the dunce cap for this matchup.
Well, that was some pretty good racing. I think we're going to see a lot more. I think this is a really high competition race, and I'm definitely looking forward to some more of it from these particular racers, especially.
Yeah, definitely some really nice movement I saw from all runners in different areas, and just a matter of getting it all together in one race. I think we'll see some really, really good times in the coming week. But that's about all that I had to say. Anything else, Sarah?
No, I'm pretty good. I think that we're done here.
All right, let's send this back to Hans in the studio then.
It seems like Cinderella's coach has turned back into a pumpkin. Fitting enough for this game. Bent Glass Tube gets bodied. He couldn't even play the right game. He loses to D-Pad Danny. Coach Crab moves on to 1-0 against Nirm. And they'll be looking to redeem themselves next week. Now we make our way to watch Group Jason, which is going to be our final race of the evening.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos freshness, fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
All right, what's up, everyone? I am Justin. I'm here with Thurwolf.
How's it going, Justin?
Not too bad. And we are bringing you a couple of races here from week 1, the Elite Tournament Season 7 from Group Jason, we got Unos versus Link and Dark Magician versus Buzz.
Never heard of any of these people before.
Yeah, I don't even know who these guys are, to be honest. But we'll see if they're good at this game.
That's possible. It's a real easy game. It should no problems.
First thing I'm noticing here is that Buzz on the bottom right has a little bit of a different color tone to his capture. Not that that means anything, but I'm a little bit confused, but we'll just roll with it, I guess.
Maybe he has the wrong ROM, or maybe he's hacked it a little bit.
Yeah, let's hope it's not any of those things, but all 4 racers arriving here at the first boss as expected about at the same time. This first stage is pretty much an auto-scroller, so the real action will get underway after this, I believe.
Yeah, a little bit later we'll get to see probably some divergence, but I mean, XP, Buzz is a 9 of 10. That seems good.
Yeah, it's interesting that he has more than the others. I didn't see why. I guess maybe some of the other guys skipped enemies, but...
There's the whole dog head business. Some people kill him, some people don't.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so they're just going to be killing some zombies or ghouls, whatever you want to call these things, for 30 seconds or so here, and then the real game can start.
Well, it'll start at the first boss, really. This is all just killing time.
And there we go. Did see some of the racers doing a little dance while the cinematic was going on. Other racers decided to just kind of sit there. I think it's a nice break. Like if you just finished a run or you just reset or something, it's nice to kind of just relax a little bit. And then start playing after.
Yeah, I think you have to do a little dance for that guy. He's a friendly guy. Do you like reading, Justin?
Not particularly. So I do appreciate this stage right here, this mini boss, if you will. Just taking care of the books.
Yeah. Gotta just cut down those books.
Yeah, the part about this that can get you is when the floor kind of wiggles and moves your character around. Can be a little bit tricky, but here's the real. This is actually, I think, one of the harder bosses in the game to kind of get a clean fight out of. So we'll see how these guys do. And
the hardest thing is just getting that first hit off, and then you just kind of pen the head, and well, some of them did pretty well.
Yeah, I think Buzz was the only one to get the initial hit, but it looks like didn't have quite the greatest rest of the fight, I guess. So DM and Unos pretty much synced here. And Link's just finishing up. Buzz is entering the room that Unos and Dark Magician are in. These spider rooms, there's 2 of them in the game that look similar. I'm not really a big fan of them. They're not hard, but I don't know why.
And then we got the whole knife chicken. Which came first, the knife or the chicken that cut the chicken, I guess? I don't know.
So the first, 5 times I played this game, I thought you were supposed to be killing the chickens and not the knives, and I don't know. I think Unos mentioned it once in his stream, and I was like, oh, wow, that's why that's taking me so long every time. I don't really need to attack the chickens at all.
Well, they do hurt if you just kind of let one beat up on you.
Yeah, they'll get in your way, so you want to just get them out of there, but you don't want to miss a knife cycle if possible.
Well, that's basically this whole game. Just try not to miss any opportunity to smack down an enemy.
Alright, so we're heading into the sewers now. We're gonna see what these guys decide to do for their boss fight. There's 2 different ways to do the boss. I'm not sure how much of a time difference, honestly, it is to do the lower route and kind of just stay in the water. But it's much safer to do it that way, so we'll see what these guys looks like.
Oh, we got some daring people doing top route.
Yeah. We see Buzz going bottom, and we're seeing DM going top versus him. Unos also on the top. DM having a little bit of trouble. Unos takes care of it, no problem. And there we go. We also see Link doing the bottom strats. I want to say, like, I haven't timed it, but I don't think it's that much slower to do the bottom, honestly. And it's certainly much safer.
Yeah, if you can do the top perfectly, then you're fine. But if you get hit even once, might as well have just done bottom.
Yeah, exactly. And you see Link did the bottom, but he jumped, I think, a little too early, which just kind of rejected him back to the beginning, and then you have to do the top strat, so kind of worked against him there. Here's that other spider room for Buzz. We got DM and Unos taking care of the first set of chainsaws. We'll see more of these later.
Interesting that Unos did take the shotgun into there. It does help with that fight. It's just the screen before kind of really sucks with it.
Yeah, I see. Usually, if you grab that shotgun as late as you can, it's not too bad. You do have to kind of either fire it once or dodge the enemies, so which it does cost a little bit of time, but I think it definitely makes that shotgun fight much easier. Or the chainsaw fight, excuse me.
Oh, Dark Magician going the whole, why even bother killing the spiders route? I mean...
Yeah, I heard about this just the other day. I haven't tried it myself yet. I feel like it'd be more dangerous, to be honest, but he's doing all right.
I'm all about that XP though myself, you know. You gotta maximize that stuff.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you can get I think I counted once and there's like 45 or 46 spiders in here that you kill, so you get like a full level up. The XP just raises your max health, which certainly, if you're not comfortable, you know, in the late game or whatever, can help you out a little bit.
Well, this game can go south pretty quickly. The lack of invulnerability times, oof.
Oh, yeah, the iframes, there's what, maybe one iframe per hit or so? It's basically non-existent.
I guess the developers are like, yeah, one iframe, that's all you need, right? Then you can recover.
Alright, here's my favorite, aesthetically, my favorite boss. This tie-dye goat here we got. But he is a little tricky, so we'll see how they take care of it. Looks like Link's actually grabbing the shotgun, heading to this boss. So we'll see what he does. Usually we don't see the shotgun used. He might just use it all before he gets there. We'll see.
And he's doing the whole trash can, get a lot of candy.
Yep.
Hold down, get that candy.
Not too much trouble. Looks like DM is taking some damage. So he's going to have... Let's see what he does here, because he's going to start this next level with just the 2 health bars. Might want to take an intentional death, but we'll see. Nope.
You're able to get some good health the next stage, so as long as he can survive, he'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. And Unos, this is the boss you definitely want the shotgun for right here. The fly. Makes it pretty trivial.
Oh. 4 shots. Goodbye. Do you like monster films, Justin? The Fly, Jaws.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen The Fly. I don't know how long it's been since I've seen it, but I do remember enjoying it.
Yeah, I think I watched that when I was a kid, maybe.
Yeah, it was definitely.
I don't even really remember much of Jaws either.
I think I've seen Jaws definitely more than once, and that was one of the things we actually watched in school at one point, I think. So I was
What grade would you watch that in?
I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I don't even remember why we watched it in class, but we totally did. So
that sounds like something the teacher wanted to watch. So it's like, hey kids, guess what we're watching today?
Yeah, that probably is about right. Because I know I took like a film class in high school, but it wasn't for that, so I don't even remember. I want to say it was like a random math class or something, so who knows? Has nothing to do with math for sure.
I would think not. Film class would have made a little sense. But math, no. No, that's a teacher that doesn't have a lesson plan for that day.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was just the end of the year or something and it was like a treat. Who knows?
Here's your treat. Watch these people die repeatedly. That seems fun.
Alright, so we got Yunos taking care of this shadowy, stabby monster thing. I don't know what you want to call it.
Well, it's the Fork Ninja guy, right? That's what everyone calls him, Fork Ninja.
I like that boss. Makes some cool sound effects.
I don't like the RNG of the boss, because left or very far right, he's just kind of a pain.
Yeah, you just saw Buzz miss a hit because Buzz was kind of on the left side to dodge, and then he appeared way over there on the right, couldn't really make it over. And it looks like Yunos is our overall leader. In the bottom race, we have Buzz slightly ahead.
There's still plenty of areas that could take some time from you, though.
Oh yeah, I feel like the last maybe 5 minutes or so of the run are probably the most intensive as far as just platforming and whatnot through the overworld, if you will.
I mean, so far, no one's taken a death, basically, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone actually gets beat down enough to where they do that in the final stage.
Yeah, deaths in this game are not super costly, but you certainly want to avoid them. I think most deaths you just respawn at the beginning of the stage you're on, if not all of them.
Yeah, basically just don't die at the end of a very long stage and you're fine.
Yeah. Alright, so we got this weird werewolf deal for Yunos here. Not too difficult of a boss. Gave me some trouble when I was learning. But once you kind of figure it out, get aggressive
Buzz is
with
going
like
for some
Yunos is.
protection there.
Oh yeah, the bucket.
So's Dark Magician.
Yeah, I still go with the bucket. I think it's a good strat if you're low on health for sure.
Yeah, it just looks kind of neat. So why not?
I don't even think it probably costs, what is it? It probably costs like a tiny bit of time to grab it, but...
Probably a fraction of a second, maybe.
Yeah. Alright, DM takes care of his business. Pretty close race on the bottom here, within 5 seconds or so, or less.
But this stage 6 it's just like a minute. You just spend a minute here, that's about it. Refill some health, and then you start the real final stage.
And I bet all 4 of these racers can't wait to get to the amazing final boss. It's just so fun.
You sound so thrilled.
I can't wait to watch 4 people do this at the same time.
Well, Link's gonna have to catch up a bit, but he'll probably still be in there, maybe. Just because it takes so long.
Yeah, it's a good, 2.5 minutes or so for that fight. I haven't timed it exactly, but...
Yeah, it takes a while.
Another one that wasn't super easy, at least when I was learning, but now it's pretty trivial once you kind of know what to do, so...
I mean, you even have that free health if you're really low and you need to, drink a soda or something.
Yeah, for sure. Alright. Some chainsaw action at the bottom here. A little tougher when you don't have a shotgun. You really can't have a shotgun for this set of chainsaws, so just trying to get a good pattern and then just take them out when they come down. I think both racers having no problems there.
Yeah. Those bottom chainsaws can really just start smacking you a lot. And that room with the little flies really annoys me.
Yeah, some of these endgame rooms, even though they're small, they can really get you. This clock room, definitely, yeah, Buzz just almost took a hit into a hole there, which just sends you back to the beginning of the room, but kind of a big time loss. DM
Dude.
on his last
Yeah.
bar of health. And that is actually not going to be fun for him in the room. I think it's the room after the next one. Whatever the final room before the soda machine.
Well, he'll just get maybe a death. Save him from having to drink a soda, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we'll see Buzz take the soda. Nope, he skips it. Oh, DM makes it through. Wow, nice. Eunice has already taken care of the pumpkin up here on your top left. So 16 hits, which is, in my opinion, incredibly too many for this boss. They could have done 8 and it would have been just fine, I think.
Well, most of these bosses you really had to endure. So few of them were actually low hit.
So DM doesn't even drink the soda. He's going to try to beat this boss without getting hit at all. Something I don't think I've ever even done. Even though it's not too hard of a boss, I still tend to take a hit or two, at least, I feel like.
Yeah, that's
does.
rather daring.
He might be screen watching, so he kind of knew he was a little bit behind and he couldn't afford it.
Yeah, that's
That'd
possible.
be my guess. We got multicolors, disco lights going on all 4 screens now, so I'm in heaven. This is super enjoyable.
Oh man. And come on. Oh man, this is gonna take forever. So what else is going on?
Yeah,
What's going
I mean,
on in your life?
Did
you like Jason movies?
Man, I don't even know how many of them I've actually seen. I know I've seen the first 2, but again, long time ago. I remember liking them, but I can't really specifically comment. It might be one of those things where I liked them at the time, but if I watch them now, who knows, you know?
I remember watching those on like broadcast TV long ago, and I did enjoy them.
I think I've also seen Jason X, which I remember thinking was laughable. The one with, like, in outer space or whatever.
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
Yeah, it can get pretty ridiculous. Hey, look at that. Eunice did a thing.
Yeah,
That's a
Eunice
pretty
with
nice
the,
time.
1710, is that correct? Because is my math wrong? Because I think the world record is higher than that by 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
1750
for Eunice, which is still, I mean, that's a really good race time. That is, yeah, the world record's 1726, so not a whole lot of mistakes there. And we had that close finish at the bottom between Buzz and DM. 5-second finish.
GG to Buzz. That daring play by Dark Magician to just go in there with 1 health wasn't enough.
He still finished it out, though, which is commendable in its own right, to be fair. But yeah, just not quite enough. A few too many small mistakes, I guess. And there's Link grabbing the Melvin hat in 1853.
Melvin hat acting as a censor for what's going on back there.
Yeah, everyone loves that hat. But no one wants to actually own one. Yeah, that was some pretty good races there. And I think unless you got anything else to add, we can send it back up to Hans.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Hey
All
Hans,
right.
all you.
Take it away.
And the champions of their respective leagues get on out of the gate at a 1-0 start. Dark Magician and Link 7 is going to have some catching up to do. Yunos also posting the fastest time of the week with a
1750.
And here's how the matches shape up for next week. In the upper deck, we have 1-0 Unos versus the person he would have faced in the Cesspool's championship bracket if he didn't stab himself opening a DVD, Dark Magician. Over in the bowl, we have two 1-0 participants, Armageddon Time and Angry Larry. And then I think people are also racing in the Cesspool, but not too sure what they're doing. We would like to thank the following Melvins for helping out with the production of the Week 1, Episode 1 telecast of Elite Season 7. The list is filling up quick, so if you want to be Elite and join us possibly for Season 8 and beyond, make sure you head on over to elite.angrylarrygaming.com and sign up to be on the waiting list. And there you'll see some standings, schedules, and the archives for the prior Elite seasons and the SHI tournaments. This is Hans Buttface, and I'd like to thank you guys for joining us for episode number 1 of Elite Season 7. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.